Shalom. This is Sincere Milk of Yahweh Sap, Lion's Den. I camp out with Lion Den Hawan Ben Joshua in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I'd like to say a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the archons, and to the women and children. Kal Halayim La Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Ha Rodash Kodash Mahamaf. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Hawam. Salutation to the archons who are on the forecorner of the earth in sincerity and truth. And to the women and children, Shalom. I did part 1, part 2 of caretaker, and now I'm doing part 3 of caregiving. She has made YouTubes about it, and now in part 3, this one just popped out on my phone, and she's going to read a book on how the government crafted the nuclear family. Check this out.
We never were. And I'm going to speak to how the government actually legislated us into this nuclear family with one generation under the roof, or one family under one roof. I'm keeping this page up, but I'm going to read everything under the green line, and you guys can read along if you want to, or come back to this if you want to. Convinced that home above all things means privacy, reformers advocated state action not only to regulate slumlords, but also to end the promiscuous socializing of lower classes in urban tenements and streets. They grew hysterical about the dangers of boarding and lodging, once respectable middle-class practices, and referred to the street habit as if it were a dangerous addiction, much like crack cocaine. To root out this addiction, progressives promulgated new zoning laws and building codes prohibiting working class families from sharing quarters. So they didn't want families trying to create economies of scale. Welfare agencies spent much of their time and resources establishing habits of privacy among their clients as they did providing material resources. They withheld aid to families who clung to older habits of sociability and economic pooling. So they withheld aid so people couldn't get help if they tried to have some economy of scale. Such antagonism to sharing has been a persistent aspect of American welfare laws. As of 1970s, food stamps were automatically denied to any poor family or individual who did the sensible thing and shared cooking facilities with others. Mothers' pensions, similarly, were made contingent on a woman's display of middle-class norms about privacy and domesticity. A recipient had to be a proper person, physically, mentally, and morally fit to bring up her children.
Okay, I'm going to have to stop it there so I can do the lesson. I didn't know it was going to go that far. But as you can see, that like I read, yes, I think in I mentioned Job chapter 9:24, right? The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, and who the wicked are, right? And a lot of people are waking up and realizing that thanks to it started in 1960 from our Bibbins all the way up to One West, GMS, on down to other camps around the world, and also my elder Lions Den camp in Jacksonville, Florida. They've been out there for years, speaking who we really are, the so-called Negros, Latinos, Americans, and speckled birds, right? The Hebrew Israelites. Well, things are going to get worse now with the second shutdown. The title of this lesson, part 3, caregiving. I'm going to be jumping around, so be patient with me. I want to go to 1 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 20. And David said to Solomon, his son, be strong and of good courage, and do it. Fear not, nor be dismayed, for Yahweh, right? God, that's the Father there, even my God will be with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee, until thou hast finished all the work for the service of the house of Yahweh. Well, as you can see, the Edomites who like to call themselves white, okay, they're not. They're Edomites in the Bible. They're not doing the work of God at all. Okay, they are standing to this day on stolen land. Right, that's very important. And they've been forcing and demanding to comply with their rules and regulations, right? Not to benefit the so-called Negros, Latinos, Native American speckled birds, right? And as for caregiving, which I know about because I used to do that one time, it's a very stressful job, okay? Especially when they already been given sorcery, which is not even good for them to begin with. I can only call it that because if I mention the proper name, they'll delete me, okay? So I want to move on now to, as you can see, King Solomon, he asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? This wicked kingdom, which is not our kingdom, they're not asking Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. Now I want to move to Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. Let me look for it here. Chapter 10, verse 28. Here we go. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. It's not talking about hell under the ground, right? Even though, you get buried in hell, but living in this hell kingdom, this wicked kingdom is hell for us, right? Now, a lot of, there's more caregiving women than men, okay? But what you're not aware about, and you want to pay attention is, you better start realizing that you are a Hebrew Israelite woman. And if any man that comes in your path and you reject, that will go against you if he's doing the work of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shah. I'm just throwing that out there. Because things are going to get wickeder, okay? 2023 is around the corner, right? They're going to bring in already that cashless society, right? That they're going to first say is all beautiful and you can, why not apply? They call it Fed app, right? But lo and behold, when the bank shut down and you can't get your money and it pops on your phone that you have to apply, or else, you can't do work, right? And they're not saying they mandate the MOTV, that mark that they want everyone to take in their body. Things are going to move faster. I want to go to Deuteronomy chapter 31. Give me a minute. Things are going to get crazy. Oops. I said chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahweh thy God, He it is that do good with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. So what's happening to these men and now that are older and looking for younger women, right? After they broke the dietary laws, right? They celebrated Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, right? So now they're being punished, right? That they can't get help from Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai. They're going to the woman when they should have been going to Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai. Matthew 15. Chapter 15. Verse 24. Oops. Verse 15. Chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's not the whole world. That's only 12 tribes. So-called Negros, Latinos, Native American speckled birds. Okay? And it's not to all of them at this time. It's only to 144,000 chosen elect, and 1/3. 2/3 are going to stay left behind and get burned. because of the stiff necks that they are, men and women, right? Give me a minute. I want to go to Isaiah chapter 43. Verse 1. And in 2/3 realize that it's going to be more women than men. Right? Because there's more women than men. Verse 1. But now thus said Yahweh that created thee. Right? He sent Yahushua who created all things. Okay? He obeyed his father. O Jacob, and he that formed thee. Wow. Right? O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. Right? He was called Jacob, then the name was changed to Israel. Okay? But you still want to hold on to the so-called Negros, Latino, American speckled birds, right? That you're African, right? That you're black, Puerto Rican, right? Haitian, Jamaican, Cuban. These are the things that the slave gave to us. We are not that. Okay? Isaiah chapter 42 verse 6. I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness and will hold thy hand. I will keep thee and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. And I know that, you so-called Christians' mentality from the 501c incorporated churches, when you hear the Gentiles, you start assuming that that's the whole world, when it's not, okay? Gentiles just means that, wherever you are living in America, you're an American. You're living in Africa, you're an African, right? Because of the papers that the Edomites will give you. They'll give you a name, a slave name, an identity that is not really true of who you really are. Isaiah chapter 45, verse, verse 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have summoned thee, though thou hast not known me. Woo! It's only calling for the chosen elect, 144,000 chosen elect in 1/3. I hope and pray that I'm one of them, right? As well, I pray that my elder and his camp lion den, the Akims, as well, and other brothers around the world, right, who are doing the work in sincerity and truth to the best of their ability. Isaiah chapter 43, verse, let me see, Slakia, give me a minute. Oh, here we go, yes, that's Slakia. Verse 2, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Okay, so let's start first with the water, right? Obstacles, right? Big obstacles that are going to come upon this this second shutdown, Jacob's trouble, right? River, small obstacles and trials. Okay, I mean, I don't know if you're keeping track with the news, but they just finished announcing they made police robots armed with weapons. What the hell they're doing, creating police robots with weapons? Look how crazy this world has, become, right? So They already announced that in 2023 there's going to be more layoffs, more than ever before. And as the burning fire, who was that in I was in Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? With the king Nebuchadnezzar, if I'm saying correctly, it's not Slovakia, right? In the time of Babylonian, when they were throwing the fury fire flame furnace. Well, everybody right now is going to go through a test that it is done by the hand of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai. Okay? Only his chosen elects are going to be taken up, right? And 1/3. Yes, some of the elects are going to be taken out. But when Yahweh Shai comes back in those so-called UFOs, when they're really chariots, okay, with the angels, he's going to, take them up and get them that new spiritual superpower body. And then he's going to turn them loose, and they're going to become what? 144,000 chosen elect hunters. You can look at that up in Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16. It's going to get crazy. But right now, a lot of people, so-called Negros, Latinos, Americans, speckled birds, their heart is turning wax cold, right? You can look that up in Matthew 24, chapter 12. Okay? Things are moving faster, right? So these caregivers, all right, that they are waking up to realizing that they can't take care of these people because things are getting too expensive, and these caregivers, I can't say the word, so all I can say is the sorcery that they're taking is giving them a wicked spirit in them, and because they became stiff-necked, they're being punished as well. But not all of them, okay, are taking on sorcery. So it'd be wise for you women, so-called Negros, Latinos, American speckled bird women's, right, to repent, come back in the name of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, so you can evaluate who is who, because I will go against you if you push away one of his children's. Just going to throw that out there one more time. Shalakia. Want to go to Daniel chapter 3, verse 25? I think I'm going to have to leave it one more verse. Give me a minute. Then do another part 4 probably. Chapter 3, verse 25. He answered and said, Lord, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like a son of God. Yeah, Yahweh Shai. In a blink of an eye, he was already in there in the furnace with them. Not even their hair got caught on fire. Not even the clothes. Okay? I'm going to leave it on Romans chapter 8, verse 31. And then I might have to do a part 4, okay? Chapter 8, verse what? 31. What shall we then say to these things? If Yahweh be for us, who can be against us? Right? But you won't know that because, if you're not called to begin with, then you're not going to, know who he is. You're not going to know the name. And he's going to keep you in confusion. Because he keeps track of all of us from the beginning of time. He keeps a record. Just like right now, the Edomites with technology, they know where all of us are at all times. They can come at us at any time they want. But since this is going to be global, what they're about to do, all the banks are going to be shutting down. From 2023 to 2024, things are going to get real ugly, real bad, and a lot of people are going to be dying. Okay? I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say, Shalom.